So my family and I, we are leaving Belgium, and in this video I'm going to tell you why. This is our house in Belgium, so that's not one of the reasons. We have a very good house here in Belgium. We live in nature. It's really great. I have a really good time. Lived here for 5 years. I have the koi pond, my kois. I love them. I'm gonna miss them. But there are some very different reasons why we decided to leave Belgium. And this is our last month in Belgium. Next month we move to Spain. We lived in Portugal for a while, just a couple of months a year, but we're going to give Spain a shot because my wife and I really love Spain and we have some family living there. Like my mother and my father, actually they live in Spain. But in this video I want to talk about why Belgium is not the place for me anymore to live, why I don't really like Belgium that much anymore, and why I'm moving to Spain. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a digital entrepreneur. I have an online business already for 2 years. I travel the world. I'm also a husband and a father. So I'm traveling with my family. That's who I am basically. Let's start with the downsides of living in Belgium. So I wrote a couple of things down. Well, let's start with the pros. Let's start with the good things first. So the good thing is, first of all, that I have family and friends here. I have my social circle here. I love my friends. I have a great social circle. I have my sports club here, so I really enjoy my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here. I love the gym here. I have great people, like-minded people. So that's really a pro. Our healthcare is great in Belgium. If you have a problem, then you have easy access to healthcare. And I've learned from other countries that is not always the case. It's harder, and if you go like to the emergency rooms, you have to wait for hours and hours. But in Belgium, maybe you have to wait 1 hour max, and then you can get help. So that's a very good thing. It's also very affordable, our healthcare and everything. So that's a pro, definitely. And then nature, actually. Nature, I don't think most Belgians will say this, but actually we have really nice forests and we can go on great hikes here in nature. I also live in nature. As you can see, it's very green around here. I live outside the city and I can do great runs and hikes very close to my home. Now, the cons, the downsides of Belgium. There are quite a few, and you'll understand why that's important to me. So first of all, the weather is shitty. I think every Belgian person agrees with that. So there is only like a summer of 3 months, like July, August, September is like our summer, and then you have good weather, but about above 20 degrees, sometimes around 30. But the rest of the year it's very dark and grayish. Now it's September, it's already a very gray day. Even when we had it's quite a good summer for our norms, but Belgian weather is really shitty because it starts to get dark from the end of September, October, and it stays dark until, let's say, March, April. Then it starts to become a little bit more light, and it's not necessarily the cold, but it's just dark. It's dark, cloudy, it's gray. I don't mind the cold, but they're like very beautiful countries that are very cold, but they have sun and you can see around you, you can have a nice walk, but it's just very gray in Belgium and a lot of rain. And it's very unpredictable as well. Like for example, last year was my 30th birthday. I gave my birthday in July. I specifically waited until July because actually my birthday is in June, but I thought let's wait until July. That's the best month of summer. And we had rain all day and it was pretty shitty because I had organized all this stuff, like a nice tables in our garden and the barbecue stuff, but no, we had to take cover, hide for the rain. I even had an ice cream cart, which is ridiculous when it's raining. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like very unpredictable, the rain. And that's also the problem with the weather. It's very unpredictable. So the weather, it's really shitty, okay? Second to that, the cost of living is super high. So when you go to a restaurant, you want to eat a nice steak, you're going to spend at least 35 euros, sometimes even more than that. And it's like, and I like to go to restaurants, but when you want to eat well, like for my norms, eating well, I would have to spend around 80 euros per person, which is doable. But like in other countries, I go to restaurants like twice a day, every day. I eat lunch and dinner, and the cost of that is less than I go to dinner once in Belgium. And that just, yeah, it's not really motivating to spend that much money on food when you know that in other countries it's so much cheaper and sometimes a lot better because your view is better because you're not in gray weather all the time. So that's the thing. Like in Spain or in Portugal, you have the best fish in the world and you sit on the beach and you spend 60 euros for 2 people. While in Belgium, if I want to do that in the city, I would have to spend like 80 euros per person, like 160 euros for my wife and I. But if I go to the coast in Belgium, I would spend even more than that. And the fish isn't even that fresh. It's not even that good. And the view isn't that nice. So the cost of living is quite high in Belgium. Also the taxes are insane in Belgium. From the moment you start making some money, it's really insane. But I'm not gonna diverge into that because that's an whole other story. But oh my God, it's really insane. The mentality of people is also something that I don't like about Belgium, because I think it's because of the gray weather. People are also gray in their head, you know, they are very sad all the time. And when you are winning and you're a happy person, we are not very supportive. Most Belgians are very jealous. We're very timid, very closed-minded, and that's something I don't really relate to. I'm a very open-minded person. I'm a social person. I'm a happy person. When I see somebody doing better than me, I'm inspired. But most Belgians, they're not inspired. They're just a bit grumpy all the time. We have a lot of grumpy people, and that maybe is also related to another thing. And that's the traffic. The traffic in Belgium is terrible. And you notice that there are a lot of grumpy people when you're in a traffic jam. That's the problem in Belgium as well. When we have to go somewhere, we always have to take the car. Unless you live in the city, but in the city you have a higher likelihood of being stabbed or robbed. So I live outside of the city, but then you have to take your car to go anywhere, because it's spread out, everything is spread out. I have to drive like 20-30 minutes for my sports club, or I have to drive like 15 minutes for my gym. I have to drive 10 minutes for the supermarket, so I have to drive everywhere. But the thing is that the traffic is also very unpredictable, because like I said, normally I drive 20-30 minutes for my sports club, but it could also be 1 hour, because it could be that you're just unlucky, you're stuck in a traffic jam, and then you're like stuck there and it's gonna take 1 hour, which makes it very hard to plan, which also frustrates me a lot. The traffic jam is something I hate. I really hate that a lot. It's terrible, and in Belgium it's like one of our typical things. You have traffic jams all day. I even was in a traffic jam once at 11 o'clock in the night, 11 o'clock in the night, in the evening. I was in a traffic jam because there were some road work somewhere. It's terrible. And like in other countries, I don't have that. When I'm in Portugal, there is like never a traffic jam, only when you're going to Lisbon a little bit. And in Spain, I've never been in a traffic jam. There's just not that many cars on the road. In Belgium, everybody has 2 cars, and there's so many cars and so many people in a small area, and that just messes everything up. So you have a lot of traffic jams, really not nice. And then one of the most important things is safety. So I'm a father now, I have a child. I don't feel safe to send my child to a school here in Belgium. It's terrible. It's full of criminals. There are so many drug dealers out here. I don't like that. I really don't like safety in Belgium. I think even that in Europe, we are one of the most unsafest places ever. I think that the amount of murders, the city with the highest murders, the number 1 is in Europe. Number 1 is Marseille, and I think number 2 is somewhere in Belgium, in Wallonia. And then of course in Brussels as well, it's very unsafe. Like the capitals are pretty unsafe. I'm close to Antwerp, which is a bit safer than Brussels, but still, it's terrible. I would not trust my children to go to school there, and it's not getting any better. It's getting worse, a lot worse, with a lot of drug dealer violence, and yeah, it's crazy. That's one of the most important reasons that I don't want my child to grow up in an unsafe place. I want my child to be peaceful and don't have to worry about people stealing his phone or getting stabbed. I don't want that. So safety is a big one. Then politics. I'm not really very interested in politics. I don't watch the news. I don't care. I don't vote. Well, I vote, how do you say it, blanco. I don't care about that. It's one big play, let's say. But in Belgium, we really are extremely bad at politics. I think we hold the record of not having a government for the longest time period, because our system is that politicians have to get along, like 10, 15 different parties, I don't even know. And they all have to get along, and then they don't get along and they don't form any government. But once they form a government, it's one big shit show of different parties that have to get along together. So it's terrible. It's really terrible. And like the things that have happened in politics, only the glimpses that I picked up, because I don't watch the news, it's terrible. Like politicians stealing budgets that were made for homeless people. Politicians, for example, during COVID, they ordered like these mouth masks, these face masks, that millions of taxpayer money on it, and eventually it were like there was something wrong with the mask. They were contaminated, coming from China, they were contaminated. So all these millions of euros were just ruined, and that kind of stuff. Those things really annoy me a lot, and I'm just like, what the hell are we doing? This is my money that I'm paying, and we're paying a lot of tax money, and you're doing that bad of a job. If our government was a company, they would have been bankrupt 100 times already, and we still have to keep giving them money. Why? They're really bad at managing that money, apparently. Does not make sense for me, and it's one form of frustration. That's one part. That's the most important thing. Like, there are a lot of downsides to Belgium. Now, of course, the most important reason why we are moving is because I believe that people need novelty. I think it's crazy that the world is so big, we can travel anywhere, we have all the freedom in the world, and you will just confine yourself to one place. And it's even scientifically proven that novelty makes people happier. We need new things. Our brain loves new things, because what happens if we're doing the same thing all over again? We condense the experiences. And that's why life goes faster after a certain age, because you have a lot of the same experiences. So you don't have that many new experiences, which your brain condenses the year in just a few moments that were a bit typical, and the other moments were all the same. It were just copies of copies. And I was noticing that after spending 31 years in Belgium, that my days in Belgium all were very dull and looked the same, and I just need that novelty. And I think maybe after living abroad for a while, that Belgium will feel novel again, and I will appreciate it more. I also think that's true. I think that people that grew up in a very sunny country, they would love to go to a colder country because they need something else. We need variety. I think that's the most important thing. People are, in my opinion, people are not made to spend their entire life on one place. We used to be nomads, you know, people used to be nomadic, and we traveled from one place to another searching for food, and we were perfectly happy then. People don't need to be stuck in one place, and I feel that a lot. I feel that something is telling me, like, Troy, go to other places, discover the world. And that's the most important reason. That I also believe that novelty is good. I've been abroad for many times. I lived in Spain during my studies. I studied there for 4 months, and that was a very interesting experience, because then when you live somewhere else, it's totally new experience. Vacation, I hate vacation. The word vacation is terrible. I like spending time abroad, but vacation is like you get a max 2-week break from your boss to go somewhere, and you rush to get as much pleasure out of it as possible, which is just weird because you're like pushed to have fun, and you also, most of the time, you're very tired, and you just reset on vacation, you reload your batteries. I hate that stuff. I just want to live somewhere abroad. I want to experience the culture, experience the country, build a new routine in that place. I think that's really nice. So that's why my reason for leaving Belgium, and we're going to Spain now, live there for 9 months. We're going to travel during those 9 months as well, of course, but I'm very excited for that, and I'm going to take you guys with me, of course. I'm going to give you updates on how my life in Spain looks like, how the entrepreneurship, combined entrepreneurship and being a father and a husband is a very interesting thing to do. Yeah, and I think this step, moving to another country with my family, I think a lot of people dream about that, and they think that they can't do it because I have a family. If I was younger, and if I wasn't married, and if I wouldn't have children, then I would do it as well. I would travel everywhere. No, that's bullshit, because you can do it all the time. You just have to believe it that you can do it, and we are now proof of that. We are not unique. We're not godlike creatures that can do something you can't. We just have the right mindset, and we just do something we want to do. So I'm very proud that we're taking these actions, and I hope I can inspire more people to do it. See you in Spain.